One of the things I like to do on Mondays, I've been doing this for quite some time, is there's a lot of fluff, there's a lot of face painting, there's a lot of fan reactions, media reactions, and I try to bring a dose of reality with zero emotion or feelings whatsoever. So I call this particular segment, and feel free to agree or disagree, Overreactions versus reality. That's my cold dose of reality. Overreaction. Easy to understand. Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in Cowboys franchise history. I get the recency bias and why some of you would think that. Some of you also think the guy has created COVID and assassinated JFK and everything else. But he's not going to be recognized as the best quarterback in franchise history for a few reasons. He's not, by the way. But you really can't even go there. Some people might start to go there. There's a giddiness for good reason about Dallas, and I can talk about Dallas and all the good vibes. But unless there's a Super Bowl trophy in his immediate future, and there is not. Face painters, there's not. Settle down, there's not. He will not be in the Hall of Fame, and he will not be listed as the best Dallas quarterback ever. Right now, for all the good things, and I've been bragging about the guy for a few years, but for all the good things, he's number 3 right now. They are in order, and there's a reason why they're in this order. They are in this order: Troy Aikman, Roger Staubach, and Dak Prescott. A case can be made that Dak Prescott might even be number 2. I don't think so, but a case can be made. He is now the franchise's all-time leading passer. He passed Tony Romo. He is now at 34,000 yards himself, and he has plenty more to come. I'll argue. Now, this I would feel perfectly comfortable doing. I'd argue that if you give Dak Prescott, if you put Dak Prescott on Troy Aikman's Super Bowl teams, if you surround him with that group, he wins multiple championships. But he doesn't have what Aikman had. He doesn't have what Roger Staubach had. He's a close second to Aikman as a passer, but Aikman played for several years behind the best offensive line in football, with the best collection of skilled players in the game, and he was backed up by one of the best defenses in the league over about a 4 to 5 year period. Dak Prescott doesn't have all of that. Doesn't have any of that. And he has, and Troy Aikman is a gold jacket and multiple trophies. So can you find a way for Dak Prescott to be number 2? That's tough too. I think some people can try, and that's cool, but I think that's tough. Roger Staubach, here's why it's tough. Roger Staubach was a different player. He was Lamar Jackson before Lamar Jackson. Super athletic with a giant arm, surrounded by a bunch of good players, and he has trophies. And there's the problem for Dak Prescott, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Sorry, face painters. Roger Staubach had to do more, I would argue, than Troy Aikman to get those trophies. And Dak Prescott has never had the luxury of any of the talent that Aikman and Staubach had on both sides of the ball. Aikman and Staubach have 5 trophies between them. Aikman has 3, Staubach 2, and Staubach is a drop pass in the end zone against Pittsburgh from having 3. But if you put all that stuff aside, okay, and do that, just put it aside for now, we can at least agree, can't we, that Dak Prescott is among the best 5 quarterbacks in the game right now. Can we go there? A year ago, you wouldn't go there. 2 years ago, you wouldn't go there. I've been there a few times, but can we now agree that he's among the 5 best at his position in the game right now? He had 354 yards. I know it was a home game. I know. And there's plenty of issues with Philadelphia. I get that too. He has 354 yards passing against one of the 3 best defenses in the NFL. The best in the game right now are Mahomes, Jackson, Allen, Prescott, and Stafford. Dak Prescott is 3rd in the league in passing. Mahomes is 2. Matthew Stafford is number 5. Okay? And besides all of that stuff, and this is one of the things I've been saying for a few years now, besides all of that stuff, the on-field stuff, Dak Prescott is the mature, and there's not many of those, the mature face of the most chaotic organization run by the most chaotic owner in all of football. There's something for that. But no, there's no gold jacket coming. Not without trophies. And those aren't happening. Reality. College football in the state of Texas, well, is it fair to say never? I don't know if never is the right thing to say. But college football in Texas has not been any better. Certainly in a long time. There are 5, okay? Should be 6, but there are 5 Texas-based college programs now ranked in the most recent top 25 poll, and we were 3 points away from having 6, and that's because TCU beat Houston by 3 points and dropped Houston from the top 25. In order, the ranked teams are Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Texas SMU, and North Texas. This is the second week in a row 5 teams from the state of Texas have been ranked. The last time that happened was in 2016. How many of those, okay, and this has got to be a record, how many of those make the college football playoff? And right now, A&M, Texas Tech, and North Texas are in, likely be in, and SMU has a good chance, a really good chance now, and Texas would need a win over A&M and a bunch of help. So 4 of the 5 probably, I think, get in the playoff. Keep that in mind, in the state of Texas. Oh boy, overreaction. Your Dallas Cowboys are a playoff team. 2 days ago, this reaction would have been labeled crack. Okay? And before you go face painter crazy, and I know some of you will, keep in mind that Dallas would need to win at least 4 of their next 6. And now you're going to say, but Jeff, did you see them? I know. There's a lot of good. I get it. But you're over your skis, man. You want another dose of reality here? That 6-game stretch for Dallas, and they have to win at least 4. That includes Patrick Mahomes coming to Dallas and on a 2-game winning streak. And they're in a must-win situation. I don't see it. I mean, I don't see a playoff for them. I don't see a stretch of winning 4 of 6 or 5 of 6. Look, your Dallas Cowboys, at least for now, are one of the feel-good stories in the NFL. And it's hard not to admire that Dallas refuses to go away. You have to admire them. Even if you're a Cowboys hater, at some level you have to admire how they just don't go away. When Philadelphia led Dallas 21-0, the only people that believed Dallas wasn't about to get boat raced straight out of that stadium by the defending champs, the only people that didn't believe it were probably Dak Prescott, George Pickens, Brian Schottenheimer, and a bunch of dudes wearing white shirts. They have the 29th ranked defense going into that game, and somehow, some way, Dallas gets 3 turnovers. Philadelphia didn't cross the Dallas 38 in the second half. And they don't give up a single point, and they end up beating the Eagles 24-21. Imagine that at halftime. There's no way you thought that. No way. A lot of people checked out. So the Eagles have issues. The Cowboys have good vibes. Does it take them to the playoffs? No. I mean, if it does, we got to talk about Brian Schottenheimer as Coach of the Year. But how long those vibes can carry them, I don't know. But we do know this. Statistically, Dallas is the best offense in the NFL right now. Okay? Dak Prescott, you know this, has never been better and never been more confident. The dude is doing flips in the end zone. The Dallas offensive line has become ridiculously good. You know that. We also know this. George Pickens is one of the 3 best receivers in the NFL. And we also know this. The Eagles' offense is in a weird place, and it's a weird mess, and the finger pointing is about to be a soap opera. We know that. The Eagles had 8 penalties and 3 turnovers in one half against Dallas and let them just cruise down the field for the game-winning field goal. But Jeff, no, stop with the playoff stuff. Stop it. If you're trying to find the playoffs, I'll just lay it out for you. It's reality. Dallas most likely has, and you don't know when you're not very good on defense, and they're still not, but they most likely have 3 built-in wins. That's Minnesota, who has a terrible experiment at quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. That thing has gone horribly wrong. They get Washington, and they get the New York Giants. Okay, if those are built in, that gets them to 8. Then they most likely have to win 2 of 3 from a group that includes Kansas City, Detroit, their coach is dumb, and or the Chargers. Now, is there a buzzkill coming for Dallas? Yeah, I think probably so. But for right now, if you want to do it, you want to go all in, you want to go face painter, you want to hug Jerry Jones, you want to do all that stuff, for right now, you can roll with the ridiculous hype. Enjoy it. Enjoy while you can. Reality. I feel this is reality, I think. We're getting both Texas and A&M and Texas at their best all year this week. I think that's reality. Arch Manning was a dumpster fire at quarterback for the first third of the season. Not now. Not now. He's a different looking player. The eyeball test gives it to you. Not as good as the preseason hype, but that's ridiculous anyway. But he is far more comfortable, obviously. It makes much better decisions. That's pretty obvious, too. Now, the bar was low. I get it. After the first 5.5 games, that bar was really, really low. But he is playing with much more confidence at clearly any point in the season. The Texas offense, even though they have very little run game, and it's going to be a problem, it should be at its highest confidence level all year. Is that enough? Right? I mean, they're playing as well as they have on offense. There's confidence as they have been on offense. Is that enough? And the answer is not if Texas A&M plays well, but you don't know that. You don't know. Here's why. Here's why it's probably not enough. The A&M offense is just as good, if not better, in every way, in particular, running the ball. But there's more than that. I don't want to have to repeat it all week long, but here's the reality for as high as the two of them are coming in, as confident as the two of them are coming in, and they should be. It's a pretty good setup if you're a fan. The game is all about matchups. I'm talking about A&M Texas. I'm talking about football in general. Everybody tries to make it super complicated of scripting out plays and blah, blah, blah. It's just a game of matchups. That's it. And for A&M and Texas, the most important matchup is the Texas offensive line versus the Texas A&M pass rush. A&M will score, okay? When they flip that switch, they will score. They can turn the game into a track meet unlike anyone else. They are also schizophrenic, so you have no idea. I give you the South Carolina game at Kyle Field, but when they hit stride, they will score on you, okay? And they'll score in bunches. But that's not even the most important matchup between the two. The most important matchup, I think, that decides the game is the Texas offensive line against the A&M pass rush. And here's why I say it. The A&M pass defense is glitchy. If you have time to throw, they can give up crazy big plays. It's been a problem for a year. It's just not that noticeable because oftentimes their offense will just run off and boat race you, and you can't keep up. So that secondary can be exploited if Arch Manning has time. Cassius Howell is the best pass rusher in the SEC, period. If he has a big game, A&M wins. He can wreck everything by himself. It's a giant matchup problem for Texas. Okay? I mean, he can ruin the game for Texas by himself because Texas can't run the ball. And ideally, what you would do is the most effective plan that you would have if you're Texas is just take the air out of the ball, slow the game down, minimize the pass rush with a run game. But they don't have that. So they have to look at a game like a shootout. You have to say you're about to get into a track meet and you protect your quarterback and you got a chance. If you don't protect your quarterback, you get blown up. That's it. I think that's the game. I don't know how the two of them do, and neither do you, because the two of them can play great or disappear at any moment. Overreaction. Shedeur Sanders, pretty much forgotten in all the great storylines of the NFL this year, but Shedeur Sanders is overreaction, is the long-term answer for the Cleveland Browns. The reality, okay? Reality is he's good. I think he's good, and he belongs in the NFL, I think, as a starter. But be careful what you wish for. That'll be the end of you. You win that job and you keep that job, it's the end of you. Is he good enough? Here's the real question. This is the sad reality of being a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Is he good enough to keep the Browns from drafting another quarterback? And for him and his family, and his dad knows this, you hope not. You hope they draft somebody and he can go somewhere else. That's what you hope, because otherwise you will die there like everyone else. I'm betting he is good enough. And not just that, I'm betting that he's good enough. He's both good and cheap. When you can have a cheap quarterback that's effective, that's gold in the NFL. So that's both a good and bad thing for him. The bad part is he will be sentenced to playing quarterback in Cleveland. And that will kill your career until you can escape. Your career will die there. It'll be a miserable experience unless you can escape. The best thing for Shedeur Sanders, if they give him the keys, and I think they might, is for Cleveland to trade him away. But I don't see that happening because I know they're dumb and they'll screw up anything and everything. But he's good enough to be their starter and he's cheap. I think that keeps them from trading him away. So he is stuck there. He will get the keys to the car and it will ruin him. You got no chance. It's Cleveland. Reality, the Rams are the best team in the NFL with the current MVP. That's reality. I don't even think it's debatable. Seattle might be the second best team. And here's why I say that. Remember, Seattle goes to L.A. They have 4 picks, and they're still a couple of points away from winning. So Seattle might be the second best team. Baltimore might be the third best team. But there's no debating the best team in the NFL right now, and it's for a few reasons. Not only is Matthew Stafford the MVP, okay, but the Rams have the answer for a long run in the playoffs, and that's defense. So you can be great on offense, but you can't suck on defense. You can be great on defense and be meh on offense, and you've got a chance. Well, they're really good on defense, too. Matthew Stafford is 5th in yards passing because they have a good run game. Here's what tells you why he's the MVP and why they're ridiculously good. His touchdown to interception ratio is 30-2. He's thrown 2 interceptions. The next fewest is 5 more. So, but they're built for the long haul, not just because of it, if he stays healthy. They've got him. He's the MVP. They can run the ball as well, but their defense is number 1 in the league in fewest points allowed. That is the formula. That you throw that with Matthew Stafford, and you are clearly the best team in the NFL, who is clearly going to be a top seed. The Texans, by the way, are number 2, but they suck on offense. He stays healthy. They secure home field, and it is crazy to bet against them. I don't know how it all came together so fast again for them, but it has. I mean, they remind me of the Eagles a year ago with a great defense, a really good run game. Oh, but then you add the best passer of the past 20 years, and he's that. You keep him upright, you keep him healthy, and they are as close to unbeatable as you get in the NFL. Hey, here's a recommendation backed up by my own experience, a great experience. And that is, I've been a client of DJC Law, and I can tell you this. You're going to get 3 things with DJC Law. You'll notice it right away. The difference is you will get peace of mind. They will take care of every single detail perfectly, and you will get the result you deserve. If you're injured by the negligence of someone else, fighting with an insurance company for any reason, trust me when I tell you, you will need DJC Law. Dan Christensen and his team of attorneys have a remarkable track record. I've known Dan a long time. He's a military vet. He's board certified in civil trial law, and I've been a client. So you can trust them. You will get the result you deserve. Check out teamjustice.com, and you'll see thousands of 5-star reviews. The bottom line is, if you're in an accident, you need DJC Law. Contact them right away. 512-888-9999.